I'm late for a pitch, which makes me wonder why I'm vlogging right now. So, I just came out of a pitch with Twitter Canada, and I can't say much. I couldn't even really show much from their office. You got some beautiful B-roll of a mug. But I thought today, maybe I would talk about how to pitch. I think this is one of the most important things as a director, as a filmmaker, as a creative, is how do you communicate your idea? If you can't convince people that you have a good idea, it's gonna be difficult to get it off the ground. And this is one of the most overlooked things as a director. So let's talk about pitching. I may have left slow motion on. So I just got home from the pitch and I have no idea how it went. Well, I do have some idea. They seem kind of excited, but you never know. People, especially here in Canada where everyone's so nice, it always feels like you nailed it out of the park. And then there's the silence after a pitch. And silence as a creative is where you fill all your insecurities. And side note, I'm sorry if the white balance keeps changing. We have these lovely Christmas lights. It's the most wonderful time of the year. But I digress. Point number one with pitching, keep it simple. Keep your idea very clear and very simple. If you can't communicate your idea in 1 to 2 sentences, then I don't know if you know your idea well, and I don't know if you know the direction of your idea. It's so important to know your idea and be able to concisely pitch it, because this is gonna help you stay hyper-focused through the whole project and through the whole pitch. Number 2, and this is kind of similar to the first point, but that's start with a hook. Tell people why your idea is different. Explain to them what makes it unique. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy. People need to know why this is different or why this is fresh. Start with that really early. Sorry for the interruption. Ever since I was in high school, I've always wanted to do this. Now this has nothing to do with pitching, but I've always wanted to bomb through a high school on a skateboard. I had the opportunity today to do that, so I'm gonna do it. While I'm here, I'll keep talking about pitching. The third point that you should know, practice your pitch. Just because you know something well doesn't mean that you'll be able to articulate it. Practice your pitch, write it down, and rehearse it. I think it's important to read your pitch out loud, record it, listen back to it, because sometimes what you have written down on a page doesn't come across that naturally. I actually do this before all my pitches. I get my iPhone out, record a voice memo, I listen back to it, and then I have a note to go back to right before the meeting, sorry darkness, to refresh my brain of what I was gonna say and how I was gonna say it. Now, you can over-rehearse so that you sound like a zombie. I think it's still good to have some spontaneity, but give yourself a fighting chance and practice your pitch. Jeez, I almost bailed there. I think I'm gonna take a little quick break because it's starting to feel like the Flintstones, where the same background goes over top. My fourth point, be passionate, but also be articulate. What do I mean by that? Well, probably you need to slow down your talking. A really good public speaker once told me, talk as slow as you can so that to you personally, it sounds like you're talking too slow and a bit weird, and it'll actually be coming across a lot more articulate and a lot more understandable. Now, you don't want to lose your passion, but when you're over passionate about something, you end up typically talking a bit too fast, getting too excited, and people aren't hearing the details and the idea, they're just hearing your excitement and your enthusiasm. Because if I would actually talk about how fast I normally want to talk, I would be talking this fast, and it'd be really difficult for you to understand these YouTube videos, because this is actually how fast I talk. Slow it down a bit. So make sure you're passionate, but be articulate. Now this next point you often see happen in Shark Tank, and that's know your numbers. Now, you might be a filmmaker and thinking, well, I'm not pitching a business, so why do I need to know the numbers? It's really important, because if you come to someone with an idea and you don't have at least a ballpark of how much it's gonna cost or how much you need to get it moving, people aren't gonna wanna give you their money. See, investors wanna know if their money is gonna be put to good use. So when you're in front of someone who has money or who has access to help you get funding, make sure you're not wasting your time and know your numbers. Actually knowing how much money something is gonna cost is gonna give you a better chance of getting money than if you came in there and said, well, I don't know, let's talk. If you don't know your numbers, it doesn't seem like you're good with money, and people don't want to give money to someone who's not good with money. I believe we're on to my 5th point right now, and that's get reference images or reference videos. It's really helpful in a pitch when you can show people even just an idea of what you're going for. Maybe it's referencing a movie, maybe it's pulling some images off the internet that are inspiring you or like the aesthetic you're going for. Get some reference images and help people see what you're trying to accomplish. This school is so cool. It's actually where they filmed Good Will Hunting. It just goes on forever. It's like 100 years old. It's also kind of creepy at times. And my last point is recap your pitch at the end. You know, a lot can happen during a pitch. There can be a lot of questions. There can be a lot of going back and forth. You could have said a lot, but it's so important at the end to recap your idea and let people know why it's different and what sets your pitch apart. So with that, I'm gonna recap this video. Number 1, keep your pitch simple. 2, have a hook. Tell us why it's different. 3, practice your pitch. Number 4, slow down. Be passionate but articulate. 5, know your numbers. And number 6, get some reference images. Show people what it might look like. So there you go. Those are my tips on pitching, and maybe you have some. Leave a comment below, let me know what you're thinking. So get out there and get pitching. If you like this video, I post a new one every week talking about different stuff in the film industry, and I'm gonna be wanting to shoot some documentaries and showing them on this channel. But yeah, hit subscribe below, hit that like button. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I'm gonna go back to some skateboarding before a janitor finds me.